And if I had to sum up what life would look like if we got into this daily practicing, no one's going to dictate what that is for you. For each of us, it's different. But I would say one word, heaven. I would say that if we get into this daily routine of practice, we can expect to live in heaven consciousness. Heaven can be here. If heaven is not here consistently, then let's do something different. Let's examine and challenge ourselves. Let's challenge our practice. Look at this church. I love this church, which translates to I love you all so much. I love being here. I love the gratitude circle. I love being in touch with you people. There's an energy in this church like none other. We made a commitment to practice the affirmation that sits in the back to grow this church to 50 people. Look around. There's 2 pews with not a seat, with not a person in them today. That rarely happens. That rarely happens. It is working because of our practice. But it's the same type of spiritual muscle. Someone says, well, meditate every day. I don't like it, my mind goes good. Well, do it anyway. Do it anyway. Allow yourself to let the bad habit be replaced with the good habit. And then, try it for 6 weeks, a couple of months. See if it doesn't change your life. But look closely, because it's sometimes like watching grass grow. Sometimes in the New Thought movement, we expect things to happen like this, and sometimes they can, but they typically do not. Am I right? It typically takes a while. The more we practice, the easier it becomes, and the greater the divine reward. And what might it look like? Okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What will it look like if I commit to this type of a practice? Well, we will start to have true joy in our lives more and more. Divine joy. This is a type of joy that doesn't leave us. This is not pleasure. I eat an ice cream cone, I feel pretty good, and then it's gone. This is divine joy. This is a level of joy, whether you have hardships or sickness, illness, disappointments, challenges. The joy is there on some level. Who does not want to live like that? Who doesn't want to live like that? We'll start to have peace. The first thing Jill said when I said, what's heaven? She said peace, which tells me something about where she's at. Peace will start to fill our days more and more. Again, in spite of the temporal human circumstances. We're all going to have that. No one's promising you that that won't happen. That will happen. But how do we weather the storm? How do we stay calm in the eye of the storm? We'll be happier with less material things. But to have that connection with God, who is the source of all things, we'll know that whatever we do, wherever we go, we are always taken care of. We are never alone. We're always in, figuratively, the palm of God's hands. There's no way to escape that. We never have to worry. You don't have a job now? That's okay. You will be taken care of. If we keep to our practice. If we keep to the practice that is right for our growth. Somebody said, oh, but you're always in a good mood. And I said, that's because I meditate for an hour every morning. And I was really into it then. And necessity is the mother of invention, because I was going through a hard time. So I was holding on to that like a drowning person holds on to a life preserver. But it didn't matter what came up, because I was centered. I had God in my hip pocket, so to speak. Didn't matter. Didn't matter what came up. And I mostly live there today, but I will tell you, in the spirit of complete transparency, I am not as diligent as I was then. We move away. Things start to go good. Right? That's why sometimes people say, oh, this is going wrong in my life and that. And in the back of my mind, I don't say it to them because it could come off cool. Good. Good that you're having these challenges, because it pushes us back to God. It pushes us back to God. So we have to be careful when we think, I don't want this, or pray that away. No, we're exactly where we should be. I'm here, God lives within me, I know how to negotiate this. Just intuitively. Things start to change. You don't even know how. It's like that grass. Oh, how did that grass grow so high? It happened when we weren't even looking. We will resist. This is my favorite one. This is what Gwen and I have talked a lot about lately. We will resist fighting people or things. We will learn to sit with the thing, to stay in the thing. We know, because we talked about this in our Sermon on the Mount, resist not evil was another big tenet that Jesus taught us. The more we resist something, what happens? Yeah. What we resist persists. So we don't have to do that. Why? Because we believe in the flow of the universe. If we're doing the next right thing, we can expect that next right thing to follow. It might not happen right away, but keep on. Keep at it. All of these great things and more, this isn't a bridge list, this is Claude's list. I encourage you to sit down and see what your list is. But all of these things come from living in the flow of humbly doing the next right thing and expecting nothing in return. Doing the next right thing, in fact. And the next right thing follows from that. Whatever we focus on with the most vigilance, with the most emotion, that is your prayer. You are a living prayer, and you start to vibrate on that level. That is the thing that you're going to attract. You can't get away from it. I don't care how many times you say, I'm prosperous, I'm prosperous, I'm prosperous. Doesn't matter. It's the thing that you focus on most with the most energy. That creates your vibrational pull. And automatically things start to attract to you. Could you imagine for a minute Mother Teresa looking for human accolades? Nursing a baby back to health in the streets of Calcutta, and she takes a photo wow picture with the baby. Coochie, coochie, coo. She would never do it. She was very clear on who she served. She did it humbly. She wanted no human accolades for it. And she did a mighty work for 50 years while in a state of depression with serious heart conditions, medical conditions. Those of you who heard my talk on Mother Teresa, the little pencil, you know that she demanded cheerfulness from all the people who worked with her and herself, despite those conditions, because she knew they were human conditions. They had nothing to do with the power of God. So the main theme in this section of the Sermon on the Mount is to serve humbly. Serve in the background. Serve quietly. Practice looking for your rewards on the spiritual plane and not the physical one. Now, understand, that may force us to get a bit more still and a bit more quiet to see them. Right? It's very easy. The rewards of, I give you my credit card, you give me the thing, is easy. But to see ourselves slowly evolve spiritually over time, there's people sitting in this church, and I tell them all the time because I find it amazing, they don't even see how much they've grown. But I get to be with them every week in the prayer and gratitude circle, and I see the most amazing changes, a softening, an evolution spiritually of the people. They're able to handle things before that used to really trip them up. That's what I want. These people inspire me. So you might not be the one to see it. Ask the people who live with you, who are around you all the time. How do you think I'm doing? If you're walking a spiritual path, I guarantee you you're making strides. Give is your move to give. We all have the divine within. But remember, we can't serve two masters. We either serve our divine self, the inner promptings, or we try to serve in the human realm. What other people expect of me. And it's hard sometimes, isn't it? It's hard to disappoint people who've come to rely on you. It's hard to rework that groove, but it is possible. And the rewards are so worth it.